Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of The Horror Show with Justin and Daniela. This is Daniela.
It's great to be back. I'm excited for this episode for sure.
Yeah,
uh, yeah,
so
it's
the
gonna be a good one.
it is the second episode is called "A Serving of Salad Fingers and Filet Humãn," aka cannibalism. Um, First thing I want to do right out the get-go, viewer discretion. Obviously, cannibalism is a very serious topic. I'm not condoning it in any way. I understand it's graphic, it's violent, it's disturbing, it's everything bad you could possibly think of. So, viewer discretion, if that topic upsets you, bothers you in any way, you can leave now. You can leave at any time during the video. I'm just telling you, if cannibalism bothers you, you probably shouldn't be watching this episode. With that
Yeah.
being said, let us do a serving of salad fingers and filet human.
Yes.
So, first things first, why these two topics? Well, first of all, I've been saying first of all a lot. Um, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, what the heck is salad fingers? Like, what even is that? Is that a type of breadstick? Like, no, it's not. Okay. So, salad fingers, I will let Daniela explain a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
But salad fingers is a character, I guess, a video that was
Yeah.
viral, a series of viral videos back in the day. Um, Very creepy and weird, but apparently it was a big hit with
Yeah.
people, but not so much now. So, but yeah, I felt it was kind of creepy, horrorish, so thought we could do a video on that. And then finally, Filet Human, cannibalism, obviously. Why cannibalism? Because we're only two episodes in, and I thought, you know what? We only had 16 views. Not sure if you knew that, Daniela. Only 16 views our last video. So,
I
hey, you know
mean,
what? Let's raise the stakes. Let's go all the way here. Cannibalism,
raise the
episode
stakes,
two.
huh? Raise the stakes. I love the
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
yeah, I
Oh,
did. It was so great. Oh
God.
man.
Now, normally, if we're professional like editors and stuff, we'd probably edit that out, but we're not editing out that, so that's
No.
staying in there. Raise the stakes, just and that was good.
Right.
But
Exactly.
but yes. So a serving of salad fingers and cannibalism, pretty
Yay.
much. Daniela, tell us a little more. What exactly is salad fingers?
Well, okay, so salad fingers is, like we're talking going back to like 2005, all that stuff when Flash animation was still a thing. And it was basically just a character created by a guy named David Firth, and he used to play guitar, and I'm imagining he wasn't very good, but like his friend used to call him Salad Fingers all the time. So then I guess from there we got Salad Fingers. But as to why it is the way it is, who knows? Uh, who knows? Again, it's weird, but for some reason it's still going on. It's still a thing, and I love it. I've seen every episode, so you could say I'm a fan. But yeah, that's basically what it is. There's really no uh plot to it. It's just random, weird, and creepy. So
Understatement there,
yeah,
though.
right. Yeah. Well, I mean, compared to our other topic, I think so.
Yeah. I just remember somebody like when someone first told me about salad fingers, they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you should watch." And I watched it, and then I just messaged them back like, "What the hell did you just make me watch?"
Yeah. I can't even remember the first time I saw Salad Fingers, but clearly I liked it enough to keep watching it and stuff. And yeah, again, I've seen like a couple interviews with the creator, and he said like there's no like anything to it. There's no story, no like rhyme or reason for the episodes. They just kind of happen and stuff like that.
But
So
well, I
I
mean, I
guess
suppose that would bring me into my first question. Like,
yeah.
what do you think? make somebody come up with something like Salad Fingers, aside from like the whole nickname?
Yeah. I, I mean, I don't know. I think like just I don't know. I guess maybe because like maybe he was just a fan of horror too. I don't know. I mean, the guy looks kind of like I don't know. I mean, he looks pretty average and stuff. He doesn't look creepy or anything like that. So, I mean, or maybe it's just like maybe that was the trend back then because I don't think I saw it when it was popular. I think I saw it a couple years after that. So I never got to witness its pure glory. But
Like,
I think maybe because Flash animation, there wasn't really much you could do to it anyways. I mean, we had like um the llama videos and stuff. So I mean those
yeah,
weren't that great either. I finally watched all those. But I think maybe just lack of resources or it was just easier to create something kind of janky and awkward to look at because that's what the programs could do back then. Um,
right. That's
and then I
my
think it
answer.
just turned, yeah, and then I think it just turned into whatever it is now.
They just decided to me, I think they just, maybe he just decided to create something off the wall, something
Yeah,
weird, and that people will not understand, but that's why they love it, because they're
yeah,
not going to
exactly.
understand because it's so weird and they're like, I don't know what this is, but I want more of it.
Right, yeah. And maybe because it's like so simple too, because like it's just like a weird and there's like no solid like straight lines or anything either, too. It's like all like even the guy's head is not very round, you know. So I think it was all about like the simplicity that it is weird and random that anyone could like
Right.
do whatever they wanted with it. Um, yeah, I think that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I think we just covered my second question. Why is Salad Finger so creepy? This it's just because of it's just how he comes off. It's just how they
Yeah.
created him.
Yeah, and anyone that's seen Salad Fingers too, like knows how creepy it looks or just weird and off. Like the color scheme itself is bland and
Yeah.
there's nothing really to it. The voice too, like it's all
I'm
like creepy and eerie. So
so to the viewers, I'm gonna do you a little favor right now if you haven't listened to Salad Fingers. Here's a little example. I mean, it's
oh,
just
man.
I have rusty spoon. Uh, uh, like
Yes.
that's pretty
It,
much yeah.
I
Just
think it is
imagine that in like 5 minutes of it.
it's almost like watching like a little kid though if you think about it because there it doesn't really make sense and like
Yeah.
they just say the most random things but it's a British like animation film or short film
Yeah.
thing type thing but so that like kind of adds to it I guess but
Funny
um
and so I mean it's got
yeah
that going for it. It works, you know.
yeah yeah and I mean like even if you I mean I guess that's it too like um it was just one of those things where like we could tell your friends, oh, look at this weird thing, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's part of the reasons. Yeah.
So do
Yeah.
you have two
Um
questions for me, Salad
my
Fingers?
my first question for Salad Fingers was do you think that like at some point the creator probably just humored us? Because again, he said Salad Fingers doesn't have like a backstory. You know, there's no theories or anything because like when it was popular, people like wanted so much more of it that they started creating their own theories. So I'm like, I wonder if the creator just started like putting all these random things in to like make us think it had a reason and he's just
Right.
probably laughing it up and he's like, man, I can't believe I created this thing years ago, you know?
So what's the question again?
Sorry. My question was, do you think that like the creator humored us in like hiding little secrets or making us believe that there's something more than just random videos.
I was at first, like when he first made them, I would say no. But
Yeah,
because it became so popular, he probably read the comments and he's like, people think there's way more to this than there actually is. So I'm gonna
yeah,
humor them. And I'm gonna put in Easter eggs. I think that's what
yeah,
they do today. But yeah,
yeah,
like little things that people would pick up on, make their own conclusion, draw their own conclusions about, and create speculate on all these conspiracy theories about,
yeah.
I think there's this to salad fingers when in reality there probably wasn't at first. But then he's like,
Hmm.
stick that in there. Let's see how many people can pick up on it. So yeah,
Yeah. I agree too. I think he did just a little just to kind of please us and stuff. Cause like he does go back to certain things in the episodes where you're like, oh, that makes sense now. But at the end of the day, at the end of like the video, none of it makes sense. So I think it was just to like throw us off or something.
right.
Yeah. My second question was, do you think that like kids will kids nowadays, do you think they're still watching Salad Fingers, or do you think that us or kids from our time will even remember Salad Fingers?
I mean, I still remember it like years later. The only time I ever watched it was back in like 2011. I watched a few
Yeah,
things, and for some reason it just popped into my head. Maybe because you and I had talked about it, so I decided,
yeah,
let's make it a topic for this show. And I mean, I imagine people come across things on YouTube all the time. So maybe if you
that's
type in
true.
SA looking for
Yeah,
like, I don't know, salsa music, and
yeah.
instead you yeah. You can look up salsa
Salsa
music on
music.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah, everybody's doing that. But maybe they did that, and all of a sudden, salad and fingers pops up, and they're like, "Oh, what? That's weird. Why would you put salad and fingers together?" Boom, and then
yeah,
you get another fan years later.
yeah. That's true. Yeah, I think I don't think people will really remember it unless like me or you or people that have like that grew up with salad fingers. I don't think like anyone else will really know about it or remember it unless we tell someone else, like,
Right.
kind of, oh, hey, look at what I was watching back then and stuff. Because like kids and stuff nowadays are so wrapped up in like their social media apps and stuff.
Right.
So I don't think they're really looking for that. But
I mean,
um
at the very
I,
least, I mean, we're talking about it right now. So whoever watches this video and has no clue of what salad fingers is,
yeah,
maybe after they watch this, they'll look it up. They'll tell their friends will tell their friends, and
that's
before you know,
true.
I'm gonna go on Twitter in a couple weeks and see hashtag salad fingers revival trending, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna be like, "Where's my credit? I want credit right
That's true.
now."
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Well, yeah, and hopefully like the creator will make more videos too. I hope
Yeah,
so. Because he made like two more episodes between like last year and this year. So maybe he'll make more. Um but
hopefully.
I other than that, I don't think it'll hold up very well. But we'll see.
Right. So I mean, our closing thoughts here on salad fingers is, I mean, you people probably don't know what it is. Um,
Yeah.
I'm hoping, at this point, I'm hoping like a little small little revival of salad
Right.
fingers,
Yeah.
so you can understand like the weirdness,
Yeah.
but it also brings enjoyment, which is weird because like how can weirdness and creepiness bring enjoyment? Oh, it does. Just trust me on this.
Yeah,
It does.
and even if like say you didn't really like it, you might just remember like you remember the spoons thing, you know.
Yeah,
So maybe someone will just remember even that, hopefully.
but
Yeah,
I've only watched 3 episodes, and just that years later that sticks with me. I have
right.
rusty spoon.
Yeah,
Oh, hey,
yeah, it's
uh,
great. Ugh, I love salad fingers, but yeah, closing thoughts are probably, that it's creepy, it's weird, but I like it.
should def- all right, so after everybody watching this video, check out Salad Fingers. Do yourself a favor. Check it out on YouTube after this.
Yeah, yeah, really. It's something.
So, enough about Salad Fingers. for the next 15 minutes or so, if not more, cannibalism. Okay,
I
now
would
listen.
hope maybe not more.
Hopefully, right. So, I mean, in a nutshell, I would like to think that if you're watching this, you know what cannibalism is more than you know what salad fingers isn't. So,
Yeah.
cannibalism, in a nutshell, people eating other people,
Hmm.
uh, animals eating their own kind. And can't this include that? Like a lion eating another lion? That's cannibalism. A
Yeah.
penguin eating another penguin, which is the weirdest thing I've ever said in my life. That's
Yeah.
cannibalism.
I would not have used that analogy, but
It just
yeah.
came out of my mouth. What can I tell you?
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much human eating other humans. It's probably one of the most disturbing, atrocious things you can probably think of. So it's horrific, and we're talking about it in only episode 2. And
Yeah. Seriously.
so, I mean, I could keep talking about how horrific it is, but you kind of already know. So,
Right.
with that being said, I'll just go ahead and ask my first question.
Yeah.
Daniela,
Go ahead.
state the obvious. Would you eat someone if you had to?
Oh, wow. I'm glad you asked. I've been waiting for someone to ask me that all my life. But man, that's a hard one. Cuz I would say yes, but then I sound real freaking crazy, you know. But I'm going to say if I had no other choice, like I was stuck in the desert, like no food, no water, nothing, then I would probably do it because I want to live.
Wait, so like if you were in the desert and the, you wouldn't eat your camel?
Well, I mean, I would eat my camel, but at some point I'm gonna run out of camel, you know, or I might use a camel as my shelter or something, you know, because
So
isn't
like,
that a thing?
aren't you in the like who's in the desert with you?
I'm just probably gonna be by myself, you
Then
know. I don't know why I would go to the desert by myself, but I'm okay, if I was like in any kind of like distress or like where it was just absolutely the last resort, then I would probably do it. But then again, I probably would not be able to actually follow through. You know, it's one of
but
those things where it's wrong.
it is wrong. But I'm kind of
Yeah,
confused here because there is another person with you while you're talking about this, right?
I mean, you would hope so, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Said it.
I
The way you said
I've
it at
never
first, like, I'm stranded on. Sorry, you said you were stranded on a deserted island by yourself, or stranded in a desert by yourself. And like, well, cannibalism means two people. You can't just eat yourself. That would
well,
not
true.
sure how it would even work.
Yeah, that's well, yeah, true. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, if they don't eat me first, you know, you got to hope that they don't eat you first too.
Exactly. That's why, like, saying, like, I guess,
Yeah,
like, if you really had to, right?
yeah,
My response to that, would I ever eat somebody? No. 125% no.
no,
It's a hard,
right,
like, even if
right,
the person's eyeing me like I haven't eaten in weeks, and I'm just
yeah,
probably like fending for my life.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
exactly. Like I see it the same way, and like I said, I can say like survival wise, I can say yes, but like moralistically and just when
right.
it finally comes down to the nitty gritty and you have to like take this person's life basically, I don't think I would be able to do it.
Yeah, it's like aside from like you have to kill the person and it's
Yeah,
just it's too
yeah, you got to get
much.
past that first. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So my second question, do you think we'll ever see another cannibal serial killer like Jeffrey Dahmer?
I would say no. Again, I don't think most people have the like I don't think most people will follow through with killing another person because it's so wrong. But I guess if I'm not sure if like did Jeffrey like when he first did it, did he like plan it out or something, or did it happen like randomly? I don't really remember.
Um, if I remember correctly, it was just kind of sort of it progressed. It got worse each
Mhm.
time. Like he used to just pick the guys up, and then he killed the
Oh,
first guy, and then he just realized it just made him feel something he's never felt before. And I
right.
don't think he ate people right away. Like I
Yeah.
think that was like the fifth guy that he killed.
Yeah, and I think like it started with like taxidermy and stuff like that where he was like curious about, what humans look like and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think if you're having thoughts like that, at least you would have already made yourself the question of like, I should probably go get some help too.
Right.
Hopefully you would have that initiative. But I don't think that like we'll see anyone like Jeffrey ever again, hopefully.
I I actually just watched. I told you I just watched the a documentary on him,
Yeah.
My Monster, and I mean to answer my own question, I'm gonna say I would like to think no, that
Yeah.
we'll never see that because before him there was, to my knowledge, other than maybe Ed Gein, there
Oh,
wasn't really a guy that ate people, and
yeah.
since Dahmer, which happened like 25 plus years ago, um, we've been fortunate that we've never, at least to my, I haven't heard, I don't know if you have, but we haven't heard of any cannibalistic serial killers, and thank God for that,
Yeah.
because like with everything going on right now, I mean, if right now there was breaking news about a cannibalistic serial killer, I wouldn't be shocked,
You're right.
which is
Yeah.
kind of, you know,
Yeah, with all whatever's happening and stuff. It's like, oh, that's another thing now that we have to worry about. But it's kind of like you wouldn't really eat I don't know. I guess it's like the same with just any other meat. Some people choose not to eat animals and, you know, it's kind of the same thing. You would hope that you would choose not to eat a person.
well, I mean, what are your two questions?
My two questions were, how do you think the body reacts to you consuming the same type of meat? Um, do you think that like their immune systems were lower and, things like that? Or do you think it was relatively normal?
I mean, I'm gonna answer this like a person that's just deeply disturbed by your question, which I kind of am. Um,
Hey, it's a
hopefully,
question.
I mean, the only way I would even, I don't know. I mean, I imagine my body would probably react because, like, obviously, if I were eating another human, I obviously wouldn't know
Right.
and probably taste rather disturbing to me, and I'd
Yeah,
probably get sick. I imagine most people would get sick. So I
right.
don't know, like, again, Jeffrey Dahmer, like, what makes somebody say, like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna try this out.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe they grow a tolerance to it, but even then, that grosses me
It's
out saying,
weird.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
just one of those, yeah, like, it's one thing to, like, if you've, it's, I imagine it's like a vegetarian trying
Yeah.
steak for the first time. Like, their body is just gonna deny that
Right. Yeah.
steak. I would imagine most of us would probably be the same thing if, we have to, like, either willingly or unknowingly, like,
Yeah.
unknowingly, it would probably be like, ah, if it's like right in front of us and we know what it is and
Yeah.
someone's trying to force it down our throats, it's probably like, no. Like,
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, that and like, I mean, I'm looking at it from like history wise, I guess. Like I'm thinking more of like tribal things and I'm thinking about like how they must have survived and stuff. And I think
like,
it must have made them really weak and maybe I feel like it's not obviously I'm going to say it's not very nutritious, but I'm trying to there's another word for it, but I'm not really thinking about it. But I don't think that like it was enough for them to like fully live off of.
Right.
So I think it wasn't very good for them. But I mean, if you are in like the Amazon and this is the way of your tribe, I don't think that like you really have a choice anyways.
The
So
movie
because you
The
don't
Green
know
in
any
Front.
better. Yeah. Yeah, you don't know any better anyways. So I guess yeah, I don't know. I think it was bad for them.
Yeah, for those who have never seen The Green Inferno, don't.
Yeah, don't.
We both watched it once. I think I watched it either 2 days after Christmas or 2 days after Halloween 2 years ago. And I thought I was prepared, and I just wasn't. And there's a certain scene, I won't spoil it for people, but I had to look away. It was just way too much for me. I was just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, and I agree too. I've watched it once. That was it. I love horror just as much as anyone. I love like the Saw movies. But even then there was moments where I was like, "Oh, gross, disgusting," and stuff.
how,
So it's very, very like bloody and gory and just yeah.
and your second question?
And my second question was, what do you think makes someone what do you think like some oh, I'm sorry, I was reading the wrong one. Do you think that like a cannibalistic tribe would survive nowadays in like the Amazon, like say their home or their native land? Like, do you think they would still survive? Like, do you think they're still out there or no?
Um, I'm I think there are. I think
Yeah,
there's still tribes of cannibals out there, whether it's the Amazon or even in Africa, because
right.
I mean, just because the Green Inferno made it was fiction. Obviously,
That's true.
Eli
Yeah.
Roth got that idea somewhere, and I mean, I know it's based off a Spanish movie of
Hmm.
similar words, but like, where did people get those ideas from? And I mean, we don't know how some tribes. I mean, just think there are some places in Africa where they don't have any food at all.
Yeah.
Plenty of countries like that. So to think that there's countries out there that not only either have food or don't have food, but they also eat people in the process.
Yeah.
Like the fact
I,
that humans
I
are on the menu is just kind of like, dear God, you know?
Yeah, and for like my answer, I had wrote no, just because like our climate and our like actual earth is changing so much. Like in these past few years, we've seen like, Australia was practically on fire. So I think, I don't think that it would be possible. But now with what you said, I think, yeah, maybe it could be possible that there are some, especially because, like, oh man, you had said something earlier, and I was like, oh, that just like rang a bell in my head, but it slipped my mind now. But yeah, I could see where it would be possible for them to still be around. Um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, those are our two questions to each other each. So closing thoughts on cannibalism. The weird thing I think it's cannibalism is depicted in, you know, entertainment in movies a
Yeah,
lot. Obviously, Hannibal Lecter is like beloved by people. Just think about that now. People are
yeah.
like, oh, I've heard plenty of people. I mean, I won't name names because I'm not going to do that to you on my own show. You're welcome.
Oh,
I've heard people be like, oh, I love Hannibal Lecter. It's like, why do you love him though? Oh, it's because he's so
right. Yeah.
intelligent. Like, don't lie. You like him because he eats people. You're not gonna say that, you know? You're not gonna turn
Yeah.
somebody off. Like, like you're not
Yeah.
gonna do.
Right.
But I mean,
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Um, I mean, it's just wrong. Whatever way you look at it, it's wrong. But I've always said that if you grew up in a place or in a culture where that was a thing and you didn't know about like the outside world, then maybe I could see where it was not okay, but it would be your normal. And maybe there's a way where we can show these people, okay, you're not, you can't do this.
Right.
Hopefully our like medicine and stuff would reach those places where like we could turn them around and stuff. But who knows? I mean, also, I remembered what I was going to say is that, like, when you were talking about the tribes and stuff, I got to imagine that if, like, they're in the Amazon and stuff and people are just dropping off like flies, you got to do something with it, right?
Right.
Right. So I could see where that would be a start of something, but either way, it's wrong. And we're
And
not condoning it by any means.
right. And
Yeah.
I just remember telling you the other day, like, there's an old movie from the 70s, I believe the 70s, called Soylent Green, and
Okay.
Charlton Heston, and it's pretty much like a post-apocalyptic society, and people are given these green chips that they eat to survive.
Mhm.
And Heston's character is a detective, and he goes to this factory to find out, what these green chips are and why these
Oh,
people
okay.
are living the way they're living.
Yeah.
And this I will spoil because I mean most people do know about the classic ending scene. Charlton Heston just got finished, fighting somebody, and
Right.
there's a bunch of people inside this place. And as he's being taken out on a stretcher, he's like, "Soylent Green, it's people," and he finds out that like everybody's been eating their own kind, and
Oh
that
God.
was like the big hook of that movie.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's like the only part of the movie where you kind of like you watch the movie, it's pretty much a total post-apocalyptic movie.
Right.
That's the purpose it serves, and like it's not until the end that you find out like it's people, and you're like, I did not see that coming. Holy crap!
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And even with like zombie things, the hint of like cannibalism is there. So it's like we all know and stuff, but people seem to love apocalyptic movies. So they're
Exactly.
probably thinking about it already, where they're like, okay, if it came down to things like this, would we do it or not?
I
So,
mean, we've kind of talked about like the reality of cannibalism, and we've
yeah,
compared it to fiction. And zombies, you bring up a good point because we've this culture has been soaked in
yeah,
zombies over the last couple of years. So I
right.
mean, and people the idea of zombies, and yet zombies are cannibals. So
Yep,
maybe that's
exactly.
where it comes from. Like
Right.
cannibalism is in our culture because zombies. Zombies
Yeah,
make it so.
right. Yeah, exactly.
I think a good closing thought, good way to close this video. Zombies.
Yeah,
If
there
you
we go.
if you like zombies, then you're telling us you like cannibals.
Right.
Which man,
Basically, yeah,
I didn't
exactly.
say that. I didn't say that for you. That's what you're telling us.
I mean, I guess.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that
that's
was,
the video.
yeah, we had some light topics there.
Um so yeah, I wanna thank everybody for
Yeah,
watching this video. Hopefully
yeah,
you enjoyed Salad Fingers, and do me and Daniella a favor and head on over to YouTube after and like this video. First of all, like subscribe to my
yes.
channel. I'm gonna be that person. Hit
Oh my
subscribe below. Shameless plug there. Never thought I'd
You
do
know,
that.
you know what? At least I'm gonna be that one YouTuber too. That's like, oh, salad fingers. The link will be down below.
Right?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
man.
after you
Yeah.
watch this video, check out a few Salad Fingers videos. If you want, I'm not condoning this. If you want to go check out some Jeffrey Dahmer videos, watch
Yeah.
the
If you don't know
trailer
them already.
out for the link, but maybe
Right.
just watch some zombie stuff, at least. at the
And
very least.
and you know, if you already know about like cannibalism too, and if you think you're strong enough, you should check out Green Inferno. But by all means, it's something else. That's for sure.
Seriously, it is.
Definitely, definitely not like The Walking Dead. That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, this has been the horror show with Justin and Daniela. Thank you for
Yeah.
watching. Our next video, we haven't decided yet, but I did mention, I mean, we were just talking about zombies. That would be
Right. Yeah.
making zombies as a regular topic would be pretty good. So
Yeah.
float that out there. Maybe episode 3 will be zombies, both
Yeah.
fiction versus reality, kind of like what we
Oh.
did here today with cannibalism.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, until next time,
Yep. Yeah.
say goodbye to the fans, Daniela.
Oh, am I still on? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, to the fans, the new fans.